I personally think that the best combination of this is the whole life policy combined with the turnkey real estate. That is where you want to get. But if you want to be more active, that's where you start by saving up enough, lending it out, doing hard money lending, and guarantee your money with the asset that you're lending against. Hey, what's going on, Cashflow hackers? It's Chris with Life 180, and for this video, we're gonna be talking about what exactly is cash flow hacking. Now, I've been getting this question, I should say, more and more regularly. As you just heard, I always say, hey, what's going on, Cashflow hackers? My assumption is if you're here, you're watching this channel, you're trying to better your financial life, you're trying to learn more either about the life insurance business, how to leverage life insurance, how to do real estate, ultimately how to invest for cash flow and reach financial freedom faster than Wall Street is trying to teach you how to do. And so this video, I want to dedicate to doing a little bit more of a deep dive about what cash flow hacking is, how you can implement it in your life, and ultimately why you should implement it in your life. So let's just get into this. First and foremost, the summary, I want to give a high level. Cash flow hacking, very simply put, is leveraging a properly designed whole life insurance policy combined with real estate investing. And when you do that, when you combine those two things, ultimately by having whole life insurance as a foundational cornerstone, foundational component of your financial life, what it's doing is it's going to help you operate more efficiently. It ultimately ends up being a multiplier to the upside potential of any investment that you make, whether it's real estate or anything else. And it also provides a little bit of a hedge on the downside, because let's face it, sometimes we're going to make investments, we're not going to win everything that we do. I don't care if it's real estate or cryptocurrency or stocks or your business or anything of that nature. I will tell you straight up, like, you're not going to win in every single thing that you do. So it's a matter of having a system in which you can run your decision-making process through, because we always got to be thinking, I say this all the time, we always have to be thinking, what's the upside? What's the downside? Can I live with the downside? And if the answer is no to the downside, the answer is probably you shouldn't be doing that investment, right? Like, that's like you're taking on too much risk too early, and you got to be thinking about that, thinking that through cleanly. So the question is now is like, how does cash flow hacking work exactly? Well, like I said in the summary, basically what you're going to do is you're going to take the money that you would normally save in a bank account, a savings account, or wherever you're keeping your safe, liquid, accessible capital, right? Anything you're going to utilize for day trading, anything you're going to utilize for your operational fund for your business, anything you're going to utilize for real estate investments. And I'll get into this in a little more detail as we go here, but you're going to take that capital and you're going to pivot it from where you have it right now. You're going to put it inside of a whole life insurance contract that has been properly designed to give you liquidity, use, and control of that money. And you're going to have ancillary benefits that go along with it. That is one of the biggest reasons that you do that. And once you have the money inside of your whole life insurance contract, really what you're doing is you now have this leverageable asset that you have guaranteed access to and that you can borrow against. And so you're utilizing other people's money. And the power here is you're going to utilize either the life insurance company's money and have an unstructured loan, which sometimes is really nice to have that flexibility. And for some people, it's going to make more sense to get what we call a cash value line of credit, which is it's kind of like a home equity line of credit, but utilizing the cash value inside of your whole life contract to get that line of credit. Typically, it's a give and a take. The interest rate is typically going to be a little bit higher inside of the life insurance company by utilizing the policy loan provision inside of the whole life insurance contract. But with that higher interest rate is going to come some more flexibility. It's an unstructured loan, meaning one of the areas that this can work really well in is if you're utilizing it for like a hard money loan. Sometimes maybe you want to be able to have 6 months and not have to make a payment. Well, in that situation, a cash value line of credit, while the interest rate is probably likely going to be a little bit lower, you are going to have monthly interest payments that you have to pay. And so you have to make sure that you can manage that loan and the cash flow required to manage that loan more effectively through whatever investment that you're making, or just out of reserves that you have in the project or in your personal life. You have to manage that loan, otherwise you run into problems. Whereas utilizing the policy loan provision with the life insurance company, it's completely flexible. You can borrow against it, you can lend it out, you can do all sorts of things, and I'll get into details on how that exactly works, but that flexibility can be really, really powerful. So some of the things that I like to utilize the cash flow hacking concept with is, first of all, real estate is my favorite asset because of all the benefits that it provides. We call real estate the ideal asset. Actually, what I want to do here, I'm going to show this really quick, do a quick little fun presentation on why I think this is the case. So when you look at this, you can see real estate is the ideal asset because it provides you income, right? So you're leveraging, remember, cash flow hacking, we're not investing for accumulation, we're investing for cash flow. And we're investing for cash flow, that's what income is. We're not looking to try to accumulate money in an account that we lose control of that money and have access to it 30 years from now. We want to know we're improving our life today. And so the income, let's think about the rental properties that are providing cash flow. You can go out and you can be more active because the turnkey real estate that we love, that's kind of the pinnacle, that's the mecca of where you want to go. And that's ultimately, from a cash flow hacking fundamental that we coach, that's the end destination. But the bottom line is sometimes we got to be more active with our strategy at the beginning to accelerate the results. And this is where getting into things like hard money lending, getting into things like the tax deeds and overages and being really active and going to these auctions and managing these things can come in very, very beneficially. So creating income with the asset that you've created inside of the holding tank of your whole life policy, that is really awesome. Now, depreciation, when you own the property itself, this is specifically for turnkey properties. When you have the depreciation, this is basically a tax deduction, right? Because you get to depreciate the house and get a full tax deduction. Now, I'm not talking a tax deferral like you get in your 401k or a qualified account where you just delay paying taxes until some date in the future. I'm talking about a pure tax deduction that you get to increase the financial efficiency of your life with that strategy. You get equity growth. Equity growth is simply mortgage pay down. When you own the property and you have renters in there, they're paying you. There's going to be extra cash flow that's going to go into the income, but the equity growth, they're also paying your mortgage, right? Because we're going to utilize the whole life policy from a cash flow hacking strategy perspective. We're going to utilize that money as the down payment of the house. And as they're paying that money back, that money never has interruption in the growth of the account, right? So that is extremely powerful. When you have uninterrupted compound growth, that is extremely, that's where the magic happens, quite frankly. And so, but the equity growth exists in the mortgage pay down by your tenants of your property. So as you're having that mortgage pay down, your equity position is obviously improving. And so then we also have appreciation. Your mortgage, hopefully your house value, your investment value of that house is going to go up over time. Now, obviously, the last couple of years have been insane. Real estate prices have gone through the roof. We're not going to have that every single year. We can have years where it goes down, but if you have a long-term strategy, you begin with the end in mind, and the goal is to create cash flow. What's going to happen is over the long term, real estate will go up in value and you'll be good there. And when you combine those two, the equity growth and the appreciation, that creates a lot of extra value utilizing other people's money and leveraging that. And that creates, and then the L in the ideal is leverage, because you're leveraging other people's money, but you're also leveraging the fact that you have this asset there, and now you can leverage against that through lines of credit, through refinancing. You can pull that money out, you can reinvest it, get it working for you, get more properties, do a lot of other things. There's so many different components that make real estate the ideal investment. And that's why, for me, real estate combined with whole life insurance is the foundational component of cash flow hacking. Now, you can do it with day trading, you can do it with crypto trading, you can do it with investing in other assets, staking crypto, even though I'm not a big fan of that personally. I'm a big fan of the statement, never invest in anything you don't understand. I don't understand crypto enough in the staking world enough to be comfortable with doing that myself. I'm fully aware that a lot of people watching this channel believe in that, and they love that, and you know it, and you study it, you've mastered it. If that's you, this strategy can work for that, but it's just not me. I personally think that the best combination of this is the whole life policy combined with the turnkey real estate. That is where you want to get. But if you want to be more active, that's where you start by saving up enough, lending it out, doing hard money lending, and guarantee your money with the asset that you're lending against. If you have even less money and you need to start faster and you're willing to be active, go to some tax deed auctions. The guy I work with, Mike Wolf, a lot, who I've partnered with on a lot of these projects, he teaches tax deed auction stuff like nobody I've ever seen in my life. And he's got a whole program. I would say if you have any questions, go ahead and comment in the comment section below. I'll do my best to connect you. You can email Chris@Life180. It's an amazing, amazing program that I've literally seen people buy properties for under $10,000 and then flip them literally in the next year for over 80, 90, 100,000 bucks. It's crazy what exists there, right? So and then there's also overages, more strategies. There's different ways that you can take the pile of money that you have in your whole life contract and be active with it. That will accelerate the growth. But the end goal is to take the active income and get into passive income. And that's where the cash flow comes in. And that's where the freedom comes in. Now, the beautiful part about this is that it's going to help you get to where you want to go faster, more predictably. And you're going to have more control over those results. And so to me, having that control forces you to have a different level of responsibility, forces you to become more so you can accomplish the life that you want to live. So let me give you an image of what the cash flow hacking process looks like. I think this will be really beneficial. I'm going to switch to my screen here. All right, so this is the deal. Right now you are earning money. We have to take the money that you're earning actively at your job, rather than putting it into a savings account, you put it into a properly designed life insurance contract. Now what happens is that money is going to continue earning money, right? This is what I said, that money is going to continue growing. All the while you're going to leverage that money and you're going to get a loan against it. You're going to pay anywhere from 3 to 5%, right now borrowing at 5% from the whole life insurance contract. You're going to be able to use that money, put it into real estate here. And what that's going to do is that real estate's going to create cash flow. You then pay back the loan to the life insurance contract. You're going to pay that money back. And what's going to happen is as you pay that money back, it's going to free up capital for you to use more and more capital. And so what's going to happen is you're going to recapitalize your account. You're going to be able to then repeat the process and grow and borrow against it and recycle this process. And this becomes a perpetual loop, right? A perpetual loop going through, and you just repeat this process over and over and over, and that's how it scales. But the beautiful part is all the while over here, this money in your life insurance contract always keeps growing. It never has the growth interrupted, and it's growing on a guaranteed basis of between 3 and 4% every single year. So the beautiful part is you're going through and you're paying this system back and you're leveraging this. This is growing all the while, and it grows at a faster, more compounded rate, because as you're paying it back, you're recapitalizing and the money is there and it's growing like you never took it out in the first place. That is the power of cash flow hacking in general. And so what I can say to you is when you combine these strategies of whole life insurance, real estate, crypto, whatever, it's gonna give you higher highs, and it's gonna give you higher lows, meaning the lows aren't gonna be so bad. When you get something wrong, it'll cut 1 to 1.5%-ish pain off the bottom of that, which may not sound like a lot, but that can be a 15 to 20% improvement. And if you look at that from a long-term perspective and the positive consequences that will have inside of your investment strategy, it's going to help you get where you want to go a lot faster. A lot of people don't realize it's not important to get the wins so high. What's important is to eliminate the lows, right? And so there's no guarantees that we can make that happen. You're going to have to take risks to get where you want to go. But one of the things that I want to say is, in order to do cash flow hacking, it's kind of like infinite banking. If you're familiar with infinite banking, you're taking an infinite banking policy effectively. That's the whole life contract. It has to be a whole life contract because of the fact that we don't want to be taking risk inside of the life insurance policy. You want to be guaranteed inside of the capital in your policy. So you want to use that money as your safe, guaranteed, liquid, accessible capital storage tank. And then you want to leverage that money to take the risks inside of other assets. And when you do that, that's where the power happens. And when you make the shift of the mindset from investing for accumulation to investing for cash flow, you're going to see the results in your life change. So if you haven't already, what I would do is I would go get this book. You can go to Amazon, get it for $19.99, or you can go to Cashflow Hacking Book. I'll put a link in the description below. You can get a free copy. Go check it out. It'll teach you in great depth all the things that I'm talking about. It'll teach you step by step what you need to do. It's got a 9-step path to financial freedom. I'm a firm believer you could take a 40 to 45 year time horizon for retirement planning, and you can compress that to 10 to 15 years. It's one of the reasons I'm calling this the retirement rescue plan, because there's so many people that are 45, 50, 55, 60 that are so far behind the 8 ball. 95% of Americans are not able to maintain their standard of living when they retire, or are not on pace to be able to maintain their standard of living when they retire. To me, it's a really scary statistic. And if you've hit 50 and you are way behind, I got news for you. It's going to be virtually impossible for you to catch up unless you shift the mindset from accumulation to cash flow and you start utilizing assets that will actually help you get there. So if you have any questions, comment in the comment section below. If you haven't already, make sure you hit the bell. Subscribe first, then hit the bell. That way you get notified every time I launch a new video. And until next time, have a blessed, inspirational day. We'll talk soon. See ya.